Well, hello. Welcome back to another live stream. Trading live. What a day it's been. Haven't been at the markets all day. But we can see on the screen here, this is just an hourly chart. The last 7 hours have been fun, to say the least. Whether you're a long-term holder and you saw those 2 hours coming down there on the screen and you thought, I won't swear on the stream, but most people will go, blank. And yeah, down we went. But we've recovered one of those candles. We might see a bit of rejection and probably further downside, I imagine. We'll jump into that a little bit though, of course, but make sure you jump. Why am I jumping everywhere? Make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube at Sean Trades underscore and the same handle for X as well. Go ahead and follow me on there for kind of trading content. Yes, that makes sense. And obviously, we are working with Edgepool today, so you can get involved at edgepool.com, which is a good place to find your edge in the market. Obviously, we'll go through the platform today, have a look at some possible trades, and go from there. But for now, let me just get set up onto the other stuff there. I'll let you watch the chart for now. Let's make it a bit more interesting and jump down into the smaller time frames for you. Jump into the 5 minutes there. Big blue box is today's price action, if you're wondering. So yeah, I'll let you look at that for a second while I just do this. But let me know how you're doing, how you felt from today's little drop. I personally didn't even notice it. I was at work and I came back, one of my breaks, and I thought, okay, check out the market, see what's going on. And all of a sudden, everything was down. SPY was down 1.2%. And obviously, Microsoft was down 10%. But Tesla, I think, went down 2-3% at the time I was looking. Don't know what it is now. We'll have a look at that in a second, of course. But we have just done that and that, and we're ready to go, ready to roll, rock and roll. Obviously, as always, we look at the power hour breakout on my streams, because that's the strategy I look for when trading Edgepool. First of all, what I want to do is scan all of the charts. That's typically what I do. I scan all of the charts, see if anything's near the highs of the day or near the lows of the day. First thing we need to do is turn off market sessions and leave on the power hour breakout report, as you can see here on the top left corner. Not quite clearly. Let me drag it down so you can kind of see. This indicator here, power hour breakout report. And what that does is map out the high of the day, which is a green line up here. The middle is already there anyway. And the low of the day is red. You don't have to do the middle, but I like to. If you go into the power breakout report and go to settings, you can just go show midpoint line. They just added it as a feature. It's quite nice. I mean, you can use it as a bit of like a Fibonacci type style if you want. I probably wouldn't use it as concrete support resistance, although it does seem to be hanging around that level. But I don't know. Maybe it's just a kind of like a nice little medium point kind of note. So we can see the SPY, unfortunately, is trading in the middle of the session, so we don't like that. Let's move down into Apple. Apple is pushing up into earnings. We've obviously got earnings in 25 minutes for Apple, so I would probably leave this alone just because it's a little bit volatile. But where's the indicator gone? It's got a red exclamation mark next to it. One-time error. What do you mean? Not sure what's going on here for that. Let's have a look. Jump into this. I don't know why that one's not working. Anyway, either way, they've got the power hour breakup report here. Maybe that's... It can't be. Oh well. Let's just customize this to what I had it before. I like a nice bright green so you can actually see it. And then a nice bright red so you can actually see it. If you can have bright red. Midpoint line. Oh, maybe it's that. Okay. I'll have to report that, I think. Because if you have a midpoint line, it doesn't like it. Maybe that's the case with this one. Let me just check that while we're here. So at least we can try and error, take that off. There you go. Take the midpoint off if you're struggling there. Let's get rid of that and go back to our original one. Nice. Okay, back to where we were. I'm going to check out Apple, won't we? So it's near the highs of the day, but not really near the highs of the day. So we're going to ignore that and move on. We go down to Amazon in the middle of the two. So this is the high and that's the low, right in the middle. Not interested. Also Barber, not interested. It's not near the lows or the highs. And Google in the middle as well. Everything's in the middle. Why is everything in the middle? That's no fun. Netflix could be doing this. That's a nice little setup that I like to take. I wouldn't mind Netflix moving at some point as well. That would be good. Where are my rectangles? Yeah, we're very much in my buy zone for this. I might look at picking up more actually. A long term, not short term trading. Okay, let's move on down to Nvidia. Nvidia also trading just above the median of the day, and Meta trading nearish the highs. I mean, the highs were set here in the opening candle, which is frustrating because if the highs were actually at this level, that would have been a fairly nice trade to get into because it looks like we're kind of breaking down that trend line coming through the screen there. Well, not yet, but you know, it looks like it wants to. So that's something we would look at if we were going to have that set up. Microsoft pushing up into the close. Again, it's tricky to trade these stocks just the day after earnings, but you know, very tradable. This one, okay, so Tesla, the last one, yeah, Tesla is actually at the lows of the day. So what we can do, I know it's post earnings, but there is definitely a potential here. There's a pretty high chance that you'd lose this given the area of where we are, but trade potential is obviously getting on the break of this trend line, like so. Maybe from the top of the day, that might be better. Top of the day here, this actually could be really nice. Wait for the break. Stop loss down below the lows, but first we need to look at the data. So on the screen here, I have obviously the power hour breakout report, and the way to get there is hit reports, and then we go to power hour breakout report here on the right, and then because I've got it saved as a watch list, I go down to Tesla and it brings that up. And of course, you see on the screen here, there is an 11.81% chance that the new low of day is made. There's an 11% chance it goes down below here. So what I would be looking to do, and because I like the setup anyway, is buy this in 1.5 minutes if it closes above this trend line. I'm happy with the risk. I'm happy with the risk there. I don't know what screen that's going to come on. That one. Oh dear. Okay. So now I'm lining it up with my broker. I'm going to take this trade, I think. The annoying thing is there's moving averages there, but that's okay. It's quite loud actually, isn't it? If we do get into this trade, obviously I will go through at the end as well. But we're looking for a close above that in 10 seconds. Okay, it technically did close above it, but it's hard to take that, to be honest. We'll wait. We'll be patient. We'll have to wait another 5 minutes for a decent close above that. because it's not quite. I mean, if it was up here, this sort of area, especially above the previous wick, so somewhere above this area would be nice for the Tesla trade to play out. So then you'd be looking at something like this. Your risk would be 0.8%. And then targets, of course, we'd be looking at these recent peaks. Alternatively, what we can do is open up the power hour, not power hour, sorry, the initial balance breakout indicator. So we can show that on the screen. And what that is this green box, and you see on the screen, here's the first hour of trading within today, of course. And then what it does, it populates its own lines for us. Every day it has different lines. You can see there's thinner ones here, slightly bigger ones, and a lot bigger ones here, because obviously the nature of the volatile market this morning. And of course I had earnings last night. So we can use that as a target, this sort of area up here. So we can drag up our target there, just above my head, and then go ahead and zoom back in, because you probably can't see. And that's what we'd be looking at if it cleared above there. So it's a good job we didn't just jump in that trade, because we are pulling back a little bit now. And we're not just taking it for the sake of it. Because it just wasn't a clear enough break for me. It needs to get that to that green line, in my opinion. And now obviously we've got 20 minutes left in the market, so it's tricky to take this kind of scalp trade, because we've got less and less time until that data runs out. So this data we see on the screen here, which is the almost 12% 12% chance of a new low of day, obviously that goes to the end of the day. So you can't take this through the night. You can take this through the night, but that would not be playing. That would not be finding your edge. That would just be gambling, which we don't want to do in trading. Don't want to do that. What I wanted to do actually, because I've got, as you can see here, I've got a watch list on the right. And what I wanted to do is add a section. I always forget how to actually add a section. Here. A section. And I'm just going to put it as other for now. And then the stocks that I've got on the Edgepool platform here as watch list. And really simple to make a watch list, of course. If you go down to watch list, this might be a good way of doing it actually. And you just type in whatever you want. So, I mean, I don't know if gold is one. No, that's not a future. Here we go. GLD. You can have a gold, because obviously that's kind of topical at the moment. And you can just tap the add button there, and it comes down in the bottom right hand corner, as you can see, just next to my, nope. It keeps doing this, but it's my laptop, not Edgepool. And you can see GLD just down there next to my head. That's really, really easy. I'm not going to trade gold, but I'm going to take that away by pressing the bin there, and then that takes it away from the bottom right hand corner, which is behind my head, as you can see. So what I wanted to do, what I was previously mentioning, is actually adding this to my trading view list. So I've got obviously all of these, AMD, SoFi, Rivian. So add, and then what you can do actually on this is actually add multiple ones. AMD, SoFi, Rivian. What else was there? One. Hood, Palantir, Barber. Barber I've already got. Hood and Palantir. Enter. Boom. We've got all of them here. And what that does straight away is adds them to your chart, and you can see the power hour breakout report just naturally loads for that particular stock. So we can scroll down. So this would have been a good example, potentially. You know, I'll go through in a second, but you can see scrolling through these stocks, you've got that data right there in front of you. Well, you've got the indicator in front of you, but you'd have to look at the data obviously on the platform, which is super easy. Let's go to SoFi, because that one trading near the lows of the day, really nice pickup point. You'd have to do a bit of technical analysis in terms of, would that actually be a good time to buy, or are you just doing it because it's for the sake of it? It's down there. It's not much in the way of support recently. There's some here, some there. Yeah, so it would have been hard to buy that for SoFi. But we need to check what Tesla's doing. It just closed the candle. Okay, this is not bad because it's used it as a retest. So I'm willing to take that. Closed above it. Okay. So I've gone for entry 417.34. Stop loss is of course 414. It's going to be a really quick trade because obviously I want to close it before the market closes. Yeah, and target price, let's say 425. It's not going to make that in the next 10 minutes, but if we can get close, that would be ideal. So that's that on the screen. I can't remember what I was going to have a look at. Ah, yes, that's the other thing I was going to look at. So on reports now, and what you can do is actually save your report as a template. Now, for example, we're going to use what obviously I use, and I use Power Hour Breakout Report. So let's go ahead and jump onto Power Hour Breakout here on the right side. And then we'll just tap on SPY, which you can't see. Just above my head there, tap on SPY. And then what we want to do is go to sub-report. Because obviously this is the data for every single day in the last 6 months. Because you've got the selection here. You can do year to date, you can do 1 year, 2 year. I find 6 months to be the best because it's the most current without going too far back, etc. But yeah, what you can do from there is go to sub-report, move from standard to weekday. What that does is it filters out all the Thursdays in the last 6 months, which is really key because obviously different days have different things. Some Fridays are less volume, some Wednesdays you have FOMC, and Mondays can be quite high volume as well because it's the return after the weekend. So it all plays in effect with each different day. Now, what was I going to do? It says, yeah, so now from here, we can now go save as template. So everything we've selected, Power Hour Breakout Report, the weekday and SPY, etc., we can save as a template. And we can simply save that as, I don't know, template for now, for purpose of this video. So 1 hour is obviously the Power Hour Breakout Report, that is the Power Hour. So I would select 1 hour, just leave it like that and click save. And what that does is it moves it to the top right hand corner of the screen. It takes a little while to save, but it doesn't normally actually. And there you go, it's template saved. It tells you at the top corner there, and we can just tap on template and it brings it up. Obviously I've already set the template, so that would mean obviously it's not going to change. Let's go to Apple, let that load through, and then for example we will go ahead and tap back on template and it will go back to the template there. Did I just apply the template? Okay, so forgive me. The template is the actual weekday setup and the Power Hour Breakout setup and the 6 month setup, not the ticker setup. So I mean, it's not that hard to go through all the tickers. You've got them all here. So yeah, forgive me. That is just a template of the actual setup of the report. You can do this with gap fill. You can do it with initial balance. You can do it with the orb. So you can do it with all of them. Really handy to have. How's Tesla doing? Badly. What's the market actually doing? It's pumping into the close. I mean, congratulations if you brought it down here, the market, at the bottom. Nothing to suggest actually doing that recently. Let's go back to the daily. Oh, I mean, there's a moving average cloud is here. Apple earnings tonight as well. It'll be an interesting one. This box here is my ultimate technical analysis box. So if we zoom out like quite considerably, this is kind of macro technical analysis at this point. They've got the lows of April last year. They're thereabouts, obviously coming through. We've hit it a few times at support. We've broken down below it actually in the last few weeks, coming back up to test it as resistance. So we could see further downside, in my opinion. And if we go out even further, let's go to the weekly for now. Go out even further, obviously we've got the COVID lows, 2020, the bottom left corner there. This is the random trend line that kind of draws across all the tops there, but couldn't find anything else that's kind of that solid. And we can draw it down to the 2020s, but it just doesn't really work. So I've left it there for now, but that's less concrete, shall we say. But even if you drew it from, you know, the highs of last year, that's a similar sort of line. But then we just end up with a chart with a ton of lines, which is never a problem, but sometimes it can be quite hard to see. But you can see there, drawing up the tops. Where's the other end of this line? There. Let's see, it's just not that concrete, is it? But I like the other line. So I want to keep that one there. So we do have a potential of it kind of this area that I've drawn on the screen there as a box being quite heavy resistance to the market overall. And we'll see that obviously with the earnings. With tonight, we've got Apple. Next week, we've probably got Amazon and Google. So still plenty to come for sure. And Microsoft coming, I think it's down 10 or 11% now. Yeah. Tesla is kind of stalling a bit. We're going to close this trade obviously in 7 minutes or so. At the moment, it would be closing as a red trade, but it's not huge, obviously, because we don't trade with size. Scalp with size, sorry. But yeah. But it's just good that you can cycle through. I mean, even Hood, that would have been a good example. I mean, I've even got a support line drawn here on previous bigger time frames, $99. Of course, it's not the biggest, best support in terms of getting into this trade, but it would have been something you considered, you know, for potential trade. And since then, it would have been up. So we would have taken this potential trade because it's near the lows and something like that, perhaps. But obviously, we would have had to look at the data. So we need to go back to spreadsheet, not spreadsheet, the platform. Go to Hood. Of course, we've already got power hour breakout set. We've got weekday set already because we're on the template, as we can see in the top right hand corner. You can actually see there's a 26% chance on a Thursday that it goes below the line. So it's not the best. I like to go below 20. Not the best data. So I probably wouldn't have taken that because 26% is 1 in 4. So yes. Subsequently, Tesla is driving down. Might get a bit of a push. It gets very volatile in the last 5 minutes for Tesla, so this could very easily snap out, and I could lose a bit of money here. But that's trading. You know, you come back tomorrow. I'll be on live stream tomorrow as well, so you can come back tomorrow and try again. Can't win every day. Quite an impressive return, isn't it? That's today's price action. This is literally market open. Just imagine if you'd caught that drop, just went short there. And there's no reason why you wouldn't have done either, really, because you've got potential trend lines that could be drawn. Obviously, nothing concrete that I can draw right now, but Maybe from this low, that would have been a nice one. Let's have a look. Does that work? That kind of works, yeah. So potentially if you had that, and it broke through. Oh, we really are pumping. Surely Tesla's got to go with it. Will not, will it? So what's driving it then? Microsoft's having a bit of a push up. Meta's continuing. Now up almost 11%. Nvidia's driving up. Google, Amazon, Apple. Apple reporting earnings tonight. It won't come out until when you're about 4:30. So, yeah, careful with that. We've got 3 minutes left of this trade. I don't think we're going to hit the target price, that's for sure. And you'll hear me close it as well because my laptop makes sounds. I don't actually know how to mute the program. I thought it'd be really easy, but it's not. Or maybe I'm guessing you can't. Maybe I do it on purpose. Probably can somewhere. What have we got? 3 minutes. Just under 3 minutes. And a bit of a push, might be a minor positive trade. What gold's doing now? Yeah, see that did take a drop today as well. That's one hell of a candle. I mean, gold, crazy, isn't it? I mean, I think the dollar is coming down significantly. Yeah, and this looks at. I've got this at quite heavy. I need to watch the time here. I've got this at quite heavy support here, so this needs to recover here, or we drop a lot lower for the dollar. Right, we have only got 2 minutes. Come on. I forgot my water, so I keep going to reach for my water. I'm talking for the amount of time that I do on these streams. It's dry work. That'll be a minor loss, I think, from here. 1 minute left. Might move overnight though, because we've broken the trend line. But my broker doesn't trade overnight, and of course the data is the data, so we don't trade. Yeah. It's failing to get through that mark, so we're just going to close it here. 30 seconds is left. As you can hear, we closed that trade. So we had a small loss. Here, we had a 0.15 loss today, which equates to not much money. So that's fine for me. We'll come back tomorrow and hopefully we'll have a much better day. Because what we had today was quite annoying in terms of setups. We only had one possible setup. We can see on the screen here, this is Tesla, lower the day, higher the day. Microsoft was right in the middle. Meta was near the top, but not near enough the top, if that makes sense. Nvidia, when we entered power hour, was here, so it's kind of in the middle. Entered the power hour near the bottom, to be fair, so Netflix could have been an idea. but it's still quite far away from the bottom there. I can't see. And then obviously Google was right in the middle, Barber was right in the middle, Amazon was right in the middle, and Apple was nearest the top, but quite hard to trade that going into earnings. Just a tip there, if you're looking at this strategy as a possible money maker for you, which it has been for me, just be careful of when you're trading. If it's before earnings, it's got to be volatile. But yeah, no, it's been fun. We took a trade. We had a very small loss, which is not the end of the world. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. If you have, if you got this far, make sure you like and subscribe on the YouTube channel, and obviously follow me on X. And of course, you can get the Edgepool platform for yourself down in the description on YouTube, and post it as a comment on X, on the X stream as well. So check it out. You get a free trial for 2 days. That's it. It ends in February the 1st. So you've got 2 days left to get a free trial. So go ahead and tap the link on YouTube or X and try it out for yourself. It's a really good platform. I really enjoy using it. There's so many different ways you can use it as well. It's not just the power hour breakout report as I show here. That's just because I'm based in the UK and that's the only time I can trade. So yeah, no, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next stream tomorrow, Friday. So yeah, see you then. Take care.